When we talk about style mistakes, we usually talk about big decisions. What to buy, what to avoid wearing, what's right or wrong. But the truth is, our sense of style rarely falls apart all at once. It fades more quietly and slowly through small habits we simply stop noticing. Most style mistakes aren't that dramatic. They're actually more habitual and quite easy to overlook, not because we don't care, but because familiarity makes us less attentive. They show up as these tiny, repetitive behaviors that slowly dull our relationship with clothes, and over time, they disconnect us from a sense of intention and confidence. So today I want to take a look at a few habits that quietly erode our style. And I think that these are pretty small behaviors that don't necessarily feel like they're wrong enough to fix in the moment, but over time the effects can accumulate, and before we know it, we feel disconnected from style altogether. The first subtle habit is when we stop seeing our wardrobe as a full picture. We start only checking our outfits in bits and pieces. Maybe you're just looking at the top half of your outfit in a small mirror, or just focusing on specific items that you're most familiar with. Or you might be so excited by a new piece you've recently added to your closet that you forget about how coherent the rest of the outfit actually looks. But when we stop thinking about the full picture from head to toe, small details start falling through the cracks without us realizing. It might feel subtle at first, but over time, this habit can slowly erode that sense of coherence we once had with our wardrobe. It makes us lose track of how each piece relates to one another, and that's when we lose that sense of intention we initially felt. I don't think that this habit necessarily makes us neglect our entire wardrobe, but by only paying partial attention to bits and pieces, it makes us lose the sense of consistency with our style. And without consistency, style starts to feel diluted. You've probably experienced this before, where even when you go through a major closet declutter, with enough time, your wardrobe becomes visually noisy again. Sometimes it's because the current storage system simply makes us forget about some of the pieces that we own. Or maybe we have a hard time letting go of certain pieces while we keep adding new items to our wardrobe. You might not notice it at first, but over time, this lack of visibility creates both physical and emotional clutter. And when your wardrobe starts to feel crowded, you stop making intentional choices. Not because you don't have any good pieces, but because they're buried and blended all together. This is when your wardrobe stops being a tool that supports you, but instead it becomes something that quietly conceals you. So whether it's building a better organization system or decluttering more regularly, maintaining visual clarity allows you to make choices based on vision rather than familiarity. Personally, how I like organizing my clothes is by avoiding dressers or drawers of any kind. I like hanging all of my clothes unless they're knitwear or undergarments. That way I can see everything I own in one view. This past year, I've also implemented the one in, one out rule so that the number of pieces I own stays consistent. And these are just two very simple actions that have helped me maintain visual clarity of my wardrobe and my vision. Another quiet habit I've noticed is that our style stays fixed even as we change. Essentially, we continue to wear the same version of ourselves long after it stopped feeling current. The outfits that have worked for us in the past just become our default day after day or year after year even. Not necessarily because they make us feel good now, but because they remind us of how good we used to feel in them. And eventually, we might stop noticing altogether how things actually fit, even though our bodies and our preferences have evolved. It's like our lives changed, but our clothes never caught up. When it comes to this particular habit, I think it's important we recognize that this is about respecting evolution rather than following trends or pushing reinvention. Because I know that when we connect with our clothes, they become a part of our identity. And moving on from certain pieces can sometimes feel like we're abandoning a part of ourselves. But this is not about abandonment. This is just acknowledging the gentle signal that our wardrobe or certain pieces in it may no longer reflect who we've evolved into. And that's okay. A lot of us are usually eager to show growth in many other aspects of our lives. And style can also be an area where continuous growth and change is acceptable and it matters. The fourth habit I want to talk about is when maintenance starts slipping away. This can be small things like not using a steamer or a lint roller, not cleaning your shoes regularly, or ignoring minor repairs. But no matter how small, these things gradually affect how our clothes look and feel and how outfits come together. When these finishing touches disappear from our routine, the neglect can make the clothes lose their sharpness and presence, even when they might be our best or favorite pieces. I also think that more on an emotional level, when we start to feel less inclined to take care of our clothes, we lose our attachment to them, like they matter less to us. And this sense of disconnect not only makes us feel indifferent about those individual pieces, but about our overall style as well. I know that life gets in the way, and taking care of our garments may not always be our top priority, but just keeping a gentle reminder at the back of our minds and checking in on our habits from time to time can help us remember that maintenance isn't just about how clothes look, but it's also about how we feel towards them. And then there's the habit of letting convenience take over and make all our style decisions by default. Not because seeking comfort or ease is problematic in itself, but because we often treat comfort and style as a trade-off, believing that we can only have one or the other. We stop thinking about ways to make both convenience and coherence part of our daily routine when we get dressed. And the effect over time is that our outfits feel functional, but they stop reflecting a point of view. The thing is, convenience and intention don't have to be in conflict with one another all the time. Looking stylish doesn't have to require a ton of effort every morning, nor does it mean you're giving up comfort throughout your day. I think the key is to design a system that makes it easier for you to prioritize both, whether that means planning your outfits in advance or setting aside dedicated time for trials and errors where you have the space and clarity to figure out what works for you, both comfort and style-wise. Again, this is less about what you're doing right or wrong, but it's about bringing awareness and using it as a way to reflect. I think that none of these habits come from us not caring about style, but they develop slowly from living on autopilot. And the solution shouldn't be about following more rules or trends or more shopping. It should come from how we design our routines so that by default, bringing awareness to these habits is already built in. Our sense of style doesn't fade because we stop trying, it fades because we stop noticing. And like I said, a lot of the time, the process is so subtle and gradual that it slips through the cracks. And before we even realize where or when everything started to fade, we feel lost. So I hope that the habits I talked about today can serve as a gentle reminder and a point of reflection for you wherever you are in your style journey right now. I'll see you in my next video, and until then, stay unique and stay gorgeous.